As software engineers, after pushing our code and merging it with other developer changes, we have to make sure that the app builds correctly, run all the tests, deploy the application, and do many other repetitive tasks. Luckily, there is a way to do all these trivial tasks with GitHub Action automatically. Assalamu alaikum. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Charfaoui Younes, and in this video, we will see how you can integrate GitHub Action with your Android application. GitHub Actions allow us to design a process or a workflow for our application to run several tasks like building, testing, and even deploying automatically. So let's get started. So to get started with GitHub Actions, here I'm having a simple empty Android project. It doesn't contain many things. It just contains some default tests and the default activity here. And I'm setting up GitHub repository for this video so you can follow along and you can create one along. First thing is to create a file or several files to run this workflow. Okay, the workflow won't run from your computer. It will run our GitHub servers, but we will just write the script for the GitHub action or the workflow. Okay, so in order to do that, you have to change this view, go to Android and select project. Here, create a new directory like that and name it .github. Okay, .github. Within it, create another directory called workflows. Okay, workflows like that. Here within the workflow, you have to create a file. You have to create YML files. Okay, and you will have to name it with the flow or with the workflow. Okay, let's just create that file and let's name it with the purpose of that work. For example, I want a workflow to build and test the application. For example, after each push, we'll go to the event in a moment. Okay, just for the naming purpose. Okay, let's call it build and test. Okay, you have to specify the extension of YML like that and put OK. Great. Now this scheme validation is missing. I will add this on. Let's just push the size like that and we will be ready to add this line. So the first line to add is the name of this workflow. Okay, you will type name, 2 dots like that, and then you will have to type the name. Okay, I will name it build and test. Okay, this is the first step. You can name it just whatever you want. It will help you to visualize it on GitHub Actions. Then you will have something. Let me just close this. Then you have to specify the event when this workflow will occur. You have several options. You can specify them with the on. Okay, you put on, 2 dots, and we will see the options we have here. Okay, on the event, when the event will occur. Let's say after you push the code, after you merge it with something, after you push the code into a specific branch, you get a lot of flexibility. You can launch it manually. You can go to GitHub Action and launch it manually. You can schedule it, for example, for every night. Let's say, for example, that I will show you the different things you can do. Here in the on, you can specify many events that triggers the workflow. For example, you can say that after each push, while you can specify also the branch you want the push to happen. Let's say you want it on the master branch. For example, you can add all the branch you can. So this will run after you push something to the master branch, okay, or the main branch. You can see here in the documentation the different triggers that you can use in order to trigger work. So there is many things here. Just go to the documentation. I will put that documentation in the description below. Okay, I will just show you some examples. For example, you can say on the branches. Okay, let's say if you have some tag, for example, for versioning or for releasing. Okay, you can say when versions with something like V here. Okay, you can also trigger it by using workflow. For example, this workflow dispatch will mean that you will have to go to the GitHub action in the GitHub repository on the website and trigger it manually. You can also schedule it. You can use a schedule and you can use the form of cron like that. This would mean that every hour at night, I think, something like that. Well, I have an extension or website. They have a website here. Let me check it. Cron like that. Yeah. Here, for example, if you say 0, it will say at midnight. Okay, if you put here, it will run at, let me just put that, it will run at every minute. So you can use this website to use the cron schedule methods. Okay, so this is how you can schedule something. Let's say I want to run it at 1 a.m. every morning. Okay, so this is how you can specify the things or the triggers that will launch that workflow. You can have several files, several workflows, each one run on several conditions. Okay, so this is the first thing to note about GitHub Actions or the workflows. So what you can start adding right now, first you will have to add a name for it. This will be variable in the when you will see the workflow in the GitHub on the GitHub repository website. Okay, so this will be just the name running the local test. You will see this one, you won't see this one. Then we will specify which operating system and which machine it will run. For example, we say it will runs on Ubuntu latest. Okay, there is several things. You can use macOS, you can use Ubuntu, for example, you can use Ubuntu with different versions. Then you have another option. Sometimes when you have different jobs, and let's say a job will fail, okay, and you want to continue even if one of the jobs fail, okay, so you add this thing, continue on error, true. You can put it false, by default it is false. Then you'll have to add the different steps in this job. So in order to run the test, I will put all this code in the GitHub repository so we can copy and paste it. The first step we will have to do, first we will get our code of that repository. So we'll have to check out. Okay, we will add the step checkout. This is the name of the step. Okay, it will help us visualize things in GitHub repository, in GitHub action menu. Then we will add the required step. Then we use the action to check out the code with uses, and this one you can get it from the actions marketplace in GitHub. Okay, then we'll have another step. We will set up the GDK. Okay, that's only the name. Then we will use the action that enable us to do that. Okay, so we have an action to set up Java. Okay, sometimes we want to add extra parameters to this action. Okay, so we use the width. And we pass a variable or flag. For example, the Java version it's 11. Okay, we want to be using Java 8, for example. Then after setting this one, well, you can debug things in the GitHub actions. Let's say I want to print the Java version. Okay, so what you can do right now is just to use command line to do that. Run this, how you can use the command line, run Java C version, Java compiler version. Okay, so this is our basic steps we are doing. This is what I mean by writing a script. Next, we'll have to add several other commands like that one. First, we'll have to change the wrapper permissions to enable it to execute. Okay, so we use this command to add the executable to Gradle wrapper like that. And we'll have to pass other steps. Let me just show you the steps. We'll restore the cache with an action like that. And we will have to add the different path, okay, like that. And we will add several other things, okay. So this is basically to say to Gradle when you rerun things. For example, let's say that it crashes and it will start again. This one will enable the cache for Gradle. Okay, so let's move on. Then we will start running the test. You can run the test directly from the command line with Gradle like that. The following line, Gradle wrapper.test debug unit. Now with the last step is to upload the test report. So we'll add another step like that. Upload test report, and we will run this step always. You can pass conditions here if always, for example, and let's say if everything's go well, for example, upload it, otherwise don't upload it. I'm just passing this always. I'm just showing what the options you have here, and then we will use the action upload artifact from the marketplace. Okay, so you will know what is the path of that report. Okay, we will use the width like that, name test report. This is the name of the file it will create. Okay, then we have the path of the test report generated by the Gradle wrapper, this command. Okay, and this is it. That way you added your first job. What you have to do right now is just to push it to GitHub. I'm going to use this one, and let's say upload my first workflow like that. Now we can see what we push. Well, I have just modified simple things here. I just use it on the workflow dispatch. And this is the basic setup for running the test. Okay, if you go back here to the setup here or the GitHub repository, go to the action, you will see your workflow is here. Okay, it is here as you can see. Now get back to the actions here, and here in the action you can see the run. Well, you can go here and run the workflow like that. It will run. This is what we mean by trigger the workflow or workflow dispatch. I will just show you the result of the previous builds I done in the previous days. Let's go back to the action, and here, for example, let me show you the result. As you can see, we have running local test is just the previous name of naming it. Okay, so here is the first setup job. Here is the checkout we did. He's setting up the GDK, for example, printing the Java, setting the permissions, uploading the test report, and so on. Okay, and you can see here also, let me go back, the artifact. Here's the artifact that the workflow will generate. So this is basically how you can see and interpret the results. Okay, it will take some time in order to run the workflow, of course. This is only one simple job of running the test. I will show you the different jobs you can make also, but I won't run. Okay, let's go back to Android Studio and let's start adding another job. Okay, let's start adding the build job. We want to build our APK. Okay, so we will start by first adding the build job. Okay, it is the same thing here. We have here a local test job. You can collapse it like that and add them. Then you can start adding the name of this job. Will be building the APK and it will run on Ubuntu latest, for example, and it will continue on error. If let's say this won't work correctly, we want this to run. Okay, so it won't stop the whole workflow. Then we will do the steps. Okay, the steps are as the following. We will check out our code using the checkout action. Then we will restore the cache for Gradle. This is the necessary step. Okay, so here is the code for it. You can just copy it and paste it. Then we will have to change the wrapper permission in order to let Gradle wrapper execute commands. Okay, just use this one to add the execution command or the execution permission for the Gradle wrapper. Then simply you will do the assemble debug. This is the command from Gradle wrapper. Okay, here is this one. This one will create the APK for it. Next, we'll upload the APK as an artifact. Okay, so we'll use this previous action we used here. For example, here it is the upload artifact, and we will tell it the path and the name of this file. Okay, so the name will be APK, simply APK, and the path for this APK, here it is. Okay, you can use this wildcard in order to get anything here, and we are ready to go. This is how you can build the job. You can find all this code in the GitHub repository. Okay, this is the build job. Something else we can do is to do the Android instrumented test. Okay, so we will add also this job. We will first start by adding the name of the job here or the declaration here. Then we will name it Android test here, but we won't be running this on Ubuntu machine. We'll be running it on macOS. Why? Because it provides the hardware acceleration. So we'll do runs on macOS latest. Okay, we will do always continue on error because this job are separate, for example. Then we will add the different steps. As always, we will do the checkout. So basically some steps won't change. And if you need specific things, you can always search on the internet. There is full documentation on this things. Okay, then we will change the wrapper permission as always. We will restore the cache with the parameters for GitHub action parameters for the cache of Gradle. Then we will do the tests. Okay, here we need an emulator. Okay, so we will be using something else. Let's go. So the first thing, we need this emulator runner. So we need an emulator runner. Okay, it uses that. We can pass some parameters here. For example, we can pass the API level. You can use also matrix tests, so you can test on different hardwares and different API levels. Then we will simply just do the script. The script, in order to run the Android instrumented test, you will say connect Android test. Okay, so here it is, the script, the basic script. Then simply we will upload the results. Okay, so we'll do upload Android test report. This is just a beautiful name. Then of course, condition if always. Then we will use the upload artifact as always with name Android test report. This is the file name. Then we will use just the path. Okay, so this is how you can add Android test, local test, and even building the app. Okay, you can search more on the internet. There is many jobs you can use. For example, you can upload and test on Firebase testing labs. For example, this is one. You can do directly deploying. You can create an action to deploy directly to the Play Store using different things. I will show you one more thing. You can also do some notification jobs here. Let's say, for example, if something failed here in this workflow, you want to get updated by email, for example. So you can create this workflow as the following. You will name it notification job. I will use the email example. There is, for example, actions for Slack, for Jira, for anything else. Okay, so let's go. So here there is a new command. It's need. So in order to run this, we need to run this, then this, then this. Okay, so this is kind of condition. So this job won't run, the notification job won't run unless after this jobs ends. Okay, So we will add the need. Then we will do the name, just simple name like that, notify workflow results. Run OS, Ubuntu, for example. We don't have anything like to check out here. We'll do just some conditions and some mail checking, mail conditions. Okay. So it uses this workflow conclusion action because we want to get some variables from the workflow. If it failed, if it's not, the name of the step will be send email. If failure, this failure, we will get it from here. Okay. So if a failure happened in this workflow, we will do the following. We will use the action of send email by Daud here, and we will provide some parameters. For obviously, we will do the server address. I'm using just a simple Gmail address in order to send me email. This is the server address, this is server port, some different parameters, and here we will have the username and the password of that thing. So you won't be using directly the email and the password here. You want to secure them. The GitHub way to do that is like the following. You will go here to this project, go to settings here, and search for secrets. Here it is, for the actions. And here you will see that I am saying mail password. You can write something here. Let's, for example, name it mail username. I can type my hello world email at gmail.com like that. And this variable is called mail username. When you add this secret, it will be on GitHub repositories. You can access it, you can see it, but you can always update it or remove it. Okay, and you can use it directly here. Okay, so this is how you can use secrets in GitHub. Then we will add something else. We will do the subject of that email, GitHub action result. This is just some parameters in order to show beautiful email. The body of the email has completed successfully or not. Okay, to some email. So basically I will put my email address. Okay, so the receiver email address. And finally, you will say from GitHub action, for example. So this is how you can send a notification from the workflow to your email in case of failure. You can also set it up with Slack. I'm sure there is something with Slack. Just name Slack GitHub action, for example, and you will find an action. Let's search for it. Here it is. And let me see. So you will just use the name, the ID of the Slack. So here you will need some secrets. Why? Because you need some access of your Slack. This is the Slack webhook URL. So you won't be pushing this in plain code in your repository. Okay. So this is how you can send it. I'm sure there is multiple things. This is one of the actions you can search. Go to GitHub Marketplace. The GitHub Marketplace is full of actions. Let me just show you. So here is the Slack notify. Here is a screenshot of notification from GitHub Actions. So you can set it like that. So you can set it like the following. Now you got the basics. Now you can read this code. So it is job, it's Slack notification, its name, runs on the different steps. So there is checkout. I don't know why he's checking out. Okay, then it uses Slack notify. Okay, so this is the environment. This is the variable environments here. There is Slack webhook. This thing needs to be in secret. There is different variables you can use. For example, Slack channel, username, icon. There is different things you can use here. Okay, so this is basically how you can use an extension or GitHub action from the GitHub Marketplace. You can search here in the Marketplace for actions. For example, tap Android. You see different things. How to build an Android app using Android emulator. There is for Firebase, I think. Let me check. Firebase. There is Firebase trigger, Firebase app distribution, for example. That's great. And I think there is also Play Console. Let me check. Exactly. Upload an Android app to Google Play Console directly. So there is different actions you can use. And here you can see the code. Okay. So if you go to the GitHub repository here, you can see their code. Okay, so you can see how this thing works and the different code you can use. So here it is, the different thing. Okay, so you need basically some secrets here in order to upload it. So this is basically how you can use GitHub Actions with your Android application. So this is it for this video. I hope you understand how you can use the power of GitHub Actions in your Android application to ensure continuous delivery and integration and better app quality. Thanks a lot for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are not, and have a great coding day. Salam alaikum.